Hey guys, it's Cece, and today I am here to talk about my November TBR. So I have big reading plans in November, very big reading plans in November, and I'm excited to tell you a bit more about what I am planning on reading. Before I jump into the actual books, I do have a couple of things to run through. First of all, I wanted to thank my patrons. My patrons have helped me more this year than I can possibly say. They have made this channel possible in every conceivable way. I'm just like, it's November, so I'm feeling thankful, and I am just unbelievably thankful for my patrons and everything they do, not just by supporting me, but by supporting me emotionally, by helping me when I am feeling down and when it feels like it's impossible to create. So I wanted to thank every single one of my patrons, but I wanted to give a special shout out to my librarian patrons who are my patrons at the highest level. Those librarian patrons are Ash, Babette, Christine, Kim, Rebecca, and Rox at aspiring_Rox on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you all so much for everything that you do. I also wanted to say that I am participating in a month-long reading challenge, a month-long read-a-thon. That is Indigathon, which I am so thrilled is in existence right now. Basically, November is Native American Heritage Month, and so leading up to this month, I have been really excited about focusing on specifically Indigenous voices. But then this read-a-thon popped into existence, and I am beyond thrilled. I will leave all of the information linked in the description below. There's a bingo board. I am going for a bunch of different squares, and I'm just kind of hoping at some point it culminates in a bingo. This readathon is being hosted by Michelle and Brody, so please go follow both of them. And with that, we can jump into the stuff that I'm reading. So I'm not going to tell you every book on my TBR for the month. I'm just going to kind of give you some highlights, stuff I'm hoping to hit. First of all, I have Not Your Princess, Voices of Native American Women, edited by Charleyboy and Mary Beth Leatherdale. This was my patron chosen book for November. This is the thing that my patrons voted on for me to read. This is just a collection of what it means to be a Native girl today. This has been recommended to me super highly. I can't wait to read it. Also on my TBR is There by Tommy Orange. This is adult fiction. It follows, I believe, 12 narrators, and it is about these 12 people coming together for the Big Oakland Powwow. I think this sounds brilliant. One of the squares for Indigathon was a host recommendation, and Brody has been telling me to read There constantly. They recommend it all the time, so I've had this on my shelf. I've been waiting specifically until November to read it, and I cannot wait to jump into this one. Besides being Native American Heritage Month, November is also Nonfiction November, so a lot of different bookish people are reading nonfiction. I have a couple of books by Indigenous authors that are nonfiction, and I have a couple of other nonfiction books. So I have A Two-Spirit Journey by Ma-Nee Chacaby. This is a nonfiction book that I've wanted to read for a while. This is a memoir, and specifically I've wanted to read more about Two-Spirit and what Two-Spirit means. It is just a bit of identity that I'm not as familiar with, and I would like to be more familiar with because I am constantly challenging myself to learn more. So I have had this on my Goodreads TBR for ages. I bought a copy last month in preparation for reading it this month. I also have another memoir that is Heartberries. This is by Terese Marie Mailhot. This is a memoir. I love reading memoirs, but I know that this is also dealing with Terese's experience with mental health, with multiple diagnoses of mental illness, and working through that. This has come super highly recommended. I was looking through lists and lists and lists, researching for this month about what books I should focus on, and this was recommended constantly, so I wound up grabbing a copy from my library. I can't wait to read this one as well. I also have two nonfiction books that are not by Indigenous authors. Because it's Nonfiction November, I'm focusing on these as well. The first of those is Whipping Girl. This is by Julia Serano, and this was one of my top 10 to read in 2019 books, so I'm really trying to get through that list before the end of the year. This was really highly recommended by Jackson Bird, who is a trans guy YouTuber. I go to him constantly for nonfiction recommendations, specifically about trans studies, and that's what this is. It is officially a gender studies book, and I'm really interested to read more about it. It's been a while since I have read gender studies nonfiction, and I am super eager to get back into it, especially since Jack recommends this so highly. And the last book I'm going to talk about is Tomboy Survival Guide by Ivan Coyote. This is a memoir biography about Ivan's life life. This is truly hideous lighting. Let's wrap this up. It is about Ivan's life growing up as a tomboy and then eventually struggling with gender later on in their life, struggling with the fact that they don't seem to fit into any kind of particular category, struggling with labels. I'm just really interested in reading this. There by Tommy Orange was sent to me from my Amazon wishlist from Martha, and Martha also included this and another of Ivan Coyote's books, so I've just wanted to read those as well, so I'll be reading this in November. Like I said, this is not everything on my TBR. I have a bunch more books that I'm hoping to read. Actually, currently I'm reading a book, Mapping the Interior by Stephen Graham Jones, which is a horror novella that I'm really enjoying. So, like, I have a lot more that I'm hoping to read this month, but those are your little peeks into my November reading. Please let me know what you're planning to read down in the comments below. Are you participating in Indigathon, in Nonfiction November? I would love to hear. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!